I come to the Father, I come to the Son, I come to the Spirit, the three in one. I come to the water, just as I am, oh God, make me new once again.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Fridays with Francis. It's good to be with you today. I thought we'd get started today with an object lesson. I have here a piece of wood that represents a hobby that I picked up. I have started taking some of the old pieces of driftwood that comes out of the lake. Maybe you can see it looks a little bit like a snake there, doesn't it? It's nice, shiny. It's a beautiful piece of wood. At least I think it is. And you can see how it looks there. And this was a piece of driftwood that was fished out of the lake. And when we got it, it was just it was all crusty. Had a lot of stuff on the outside build up. It was just not very pretty. It really looked like it was a prime candidate for the trash heap. But I took it and began to sand off some of it and got some of the old stuff off of it that was built up and sanded quite a bit and kept working on it. I put a lot of time in it and sanded it down till I could finally get to the good wood. And when you cleaned off the good wood, you could see the grain of the wood was there, and it was so pretty. And then I began to put the finish on it, the stain, and I sealed the stain. And then when I finally finished the piece, it was a nice, shiny, beautiful piece of wood. And I have it sitting on the table in the house. And I know when people come in, they look at it and think, well, that's kind of strange. But then they probably consider whose house it is and realize, well, that sort of fits. But I have that in the house because it reminds me of something. It reminds me of something the Apostle Paul said in 2 Corinthians chapter 4. He said, so we do not lose hope. Though we waste away on the outside, on the inside we are being made new every day. What a beautiful thing to think of. Now, I've got to admit, on those mornings when I crawl out of the bed, my body reminds me that I'm approaching 7 decades. And when I look in the mirror and I'm struck with horror because I don't know what it is that's looking back at me, and then I realize that image is really me. Sometimes the outward appearance makes us feel as though we need to lose heart. It reminds us that God is constantly at work in our lives. The Bible reminds us that God does not look on us the way humanity looks on us, or even the way we look on ourselves. God looks on us as only God can. He looks all the way to the innermost parts of us. The beautiful Psalm 139 reminds us that God knit us together in our mother's womb. He knew us when we were being made in the secret place, in the secret depth of the earth. that God was weaving us together, that He knows us when we sit down. He knows us when we rise up. He knows everything about us. He even knows, even before a word is formed on our tongue, He knows it completely. He is familiar with all of our ways. And there's no way we can hide from God. Psalm 139 reminds us that even though we were to go to the heavens, God is there. If we were to go to make our bed in the depths, God is there. If we were to rise on the wings of the dawn and settle on the far side of the sea, even God's hand is there to guide us, and His right hand will hold us. And even the darkness can't separate us from God. You see, God has loved us with an everlasting love. God has not forsaken His own. As the narratives in the Gospels about Jesus and the Good Shepherd are so true, Jesus says, I know my own, and my own know me, and I know them by name. So, I invite you to look past your exterior and allow God to speak to you from the depth of your soul. Allow yourself to be reminded that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And remind yourself of the wonder of God's works, for you are part of it. Doesn't matter if there are things building up and our outside appears to be crusty like that old piece of wood. God is constantly about the business of making us beautiful and perhaps even new again. Well, that's my thought for this Friday. I hope that you enjoy that, and maybe you'll see an old piece of wood somewhere today. But just remember that there's more to it than meets the eye, just as it is with you and your relationship with our Creator. So, go in peace and go with God. Amen.
I come to the Father, I come to the Son, I come to the Spirit, the three in one. I come to the water, just as I am. Make me new once again. I've traveled so far from family and home, from the God who knows me as one of God's own. By baptism waters, I've stood before the Lord. Oh God, won't you cleanse me once more? I come to the Father, I come to the Son, I come to the Spirit, the three